Hi, everybody who's joined early. We're going to give it just another few seconds to let the rest of the people filter in. But thank you for joining us today. Our agenda is really straightforward and linear today. We're going to talk about why teams might need Opsmith, what Opsmith can do for you, how Opsmith pairs with Chef 360 to add capability and scalability. We have a demo for you, and then we'll talk about the future of Opsmith. So my name is Steve Blankenship, and I am the Director of Product Management here for Chef at Progress. And joining me today will be Nishal Reddy, and he is the Principal Product Manager, and he is responsible for managing our Opsmith initiative right now. So starting off with the problem, infrastructure, a lot, it's hard enough to keep your own PC or Mac or whatever device you use running reliably with all the updates and things you have to do. But when you talk about infrastructure, it's going to be usually business critical or mission critical. And operating that just as a single service or solution or a number of services solution is typically slower than we would like, maybe has some complexity that we continually have to remind ourselves of or keep notes for. And basically, that's hard enough by itself. But when you need to scale it, that just magnifies the problem exponentially. And so, taking those two things together under time crunch situations, the other thing that happens is a lot of times, we'll just throw together some scripts or the quickest solution possible to try to get the infrastructure in the position we want at scale. And then those methodologies will either slowly fade from memory in some folder or directory we stored them in, or disappear altogether if the person who helped us put them together has left the team or organization for whatever reason. So we have this big challenge on a day-to-day basis of managing our infrastructure at scale. And even when we do it perfectly, it's almost impossible to keep up with the volume of needs that come in for that infrastructure. So the good news is, as operators, it's usually in most cases really apparent what needs to be done, right? So the intent or the intention is usually pretty straightforward. Regardless of what group you work in, basic operations, just restarting services or updating scripts or cookbooks or patching or just freeing up disk space. Those are really simple thoughts or really simple intentions or straightforward intentions if not simple. So the intentions are there, but how do you get from, the problem is how do you get from the intention to the outcome, right? And that's really the challenge there is, okay, I know what to do. I can say it in two sentences, but how do I make the outcome actually happen? And so to get to the outcome, that's where, that's where the hard part comes in, right? So the intention you could say in 3 seconds, the outcome could take days, hours, weeks, because you have to go through all the steps, right? You have to figure out, okay, how does the solution have to come together? What are the steps that need to be taken in order? What's the priority of the steps? What scripts need to be put together? Maybe we have some stuff saved, but some variables we need to put into the scripts or refactor scripts, or we don't have any scripts whatsoever. And which set of automation? A lot of times you have to use more than one automation platform to organize things, put those scripts together. And then, of course, if you're doing it for mission critical, business critical, you can't just throw it out there. You got to test it. And inevitably, the reason you test it is because errors occur in your testing. You got to fix those, and you go through that, on this slide 3 to 4 loop again and again until you get it right, and you feel like everything's ready to go. And then it comes time to deploy and sort of cross your fingers, right? And so this is the journey you have to do to get from that simple intention to the intention to the outcome. And again, depending on what gates you have, what quality gates you have, how many different systems are involved, how many different services are involved, that is that one little 2-second thought can take a week or more. And so although we can't fix everything, can't always speak to every security gate that has to be put in place, and every little nuance to everybody's environment. We hope to bring out a solution that will greatly reduce the effort and help you achieve that intentioned outcome goal that you have in mind on a daily basis while you're managing your infrastructure. So with that, I will turn over the solution to Nigel, who's been driving this, and talk about how we think about Opsmith and how it can really optimize your process, and if not solve everything, solve as much as possible as you take your automation journey from ideas, as we say on this page, ideas to automation. Go ahead, Nigel.
Thank you, Stephen. So thanks for summarizing the problem statement really well. And now I'll be able to walk you through the solution. So as you've seen in the previous slide, the traditional approach is to, like research solutions, write scripts, test them, and specifically when you're actually managing infrastructure, in this case, servers, you really have to test these scripts on your remote servers. And then if the scripts don't work, or if they fail, or if they don't work as intended, then you have to go back to step 1 to research solutions, write scripts, and go through steps 1 through 5 all over again. And then typically what we've seen with some of the users that we work with is they have a mix of different tools to do these activities. They use a different tool for researching solution, and they use a different mechanism or approach to test these scripts on remote infrastructure. And then finally, a different tool altogether to deploy the script onto the infrastructure. So this is where we have been working on a solution called Opsmith, or Chef Opsmith, which can help you go from an idea or an intent to creating automation script, and then deploying that script onto your infrastructure at scale, all from a single tool. So what can you do with Opsmith? You'll be able to generate automation scripts by describing your requirements in natural language. You'll be able to create infra as code artifacts. You'll be able to execute the generated scripts with confidence and control on your infrastructure. And then you'll be able to enforce a policy as code. As of today, we are going to launch early access end of this month, end of June. You'll be able to create, test, and deploy Bash and PowerShell scripts. And then you'll be able to schedule those automation scripts to run as a job. And we are working on supporting cookbooks, generating inspect profiles. And we're also working on supporting upgrading cookbook workflows. So upgrade cookbook workflow will be available pretty soon. Followed by that, we'll be making the cookbook generation and inspect profile generation capabilities available after that. So how does it work, right? It all starts with what you want to do by specifying your intent in natural language. So you can describe your requirements in natural language. In this example, let's say I want to take backup of my system configuration. I describe my requirement in natural language, and then I submit my prompt. And then the Opsmith agent is going to look at the provided prompt. It's going to create a plan, and it's going to generate a script. And then it executes the generated script on a sandbox, on a secure sandbox. That sandbox is provisioned on Progress Cloud infrastructure. So the AI generated script will never touch your infrastructure unless you review and approve. So once the script is tested on a sandbox, if there are any errors, the agent is going to reiterate, fix any errors, and retest it on the sandbox, and it will provide you a working automation script. And then you can review the provided automation script. If you want, you can make any changes or enhancements, and then you'll be able to deploy the generated script onto your infrastructure through a job. You can either run that job as an immediate job, or you can make it a recurring job so that it executes at regular intervals. So the whole automation cycle end to end can be accomplished within a single tool. So what is the value with Chef Opsmith? It can accelerate execution from going from your intent to automation script really fast. It can improve the quality so that you don't deploy AI generated scripts onto your infrastructure without human in the loop. And you'll also be able to set access controls on who can actually execute, who is responsible for creating the automation script. So there can be safety guards in the whole workflow. And then you can scale the execution to whatever scale you have in your organization. So be it, if you want to execute or deploy automation scripts on a handful of nodes, or if you have hundreds of nodes, or if you have thousands of nodes, you'll be able to easily deploy automation scripts at scale. So how does this fit into Chef platform as a whole? So Opsmith provides the AI layer, and Chef 360 is our existing platform. It provides you the orchestration and execution layer. So there's a clear differentiation between where the AI layer operates and what actually executes in the execution layer. So with Opsmith, like I said, it provides an AI interface layer. It'll help you generate your automation scripts, be it Bash, PowerShell, or Chef cookbooks or inspect profiles. And the Opsmith layer will be able to then validate the generated scripts on a secure sandbox. And it will present to a human who can review the generated scripts and approve it for deployment. So the AI interface layer is separate from the execution layer. So you can be rest assured that any script or any automation generated on the AI interface layer will never touch your infrastructure without human approving and deploying it. And in the execution layer is where a lot of heavy lifting happens. So once the AI layer generates the automation script and human reviews it and approves it, the execution layer can be used to deploy that script onto your infrastructure, either through a job or through Chef infra configuration management through Chef cookbooks. Or if you want to scan the compliance posture of your infrastructure, you can use Chef inspect to do that. So the execution layer takes care of deploying the automation onto your infrastructure. So that way, there is a clear segregation between where the AI agent operates in the AI interface layer versus where the actual execution happens, which will touch your infrastructure. And this is what you can expect by using Chef 360 with Opsmith. It can help lower your infrastructure and tool costs. Specifically, now you don't have to have different tools and different mechanisms for like creating automation scripts and deploying it onto your infrastructure. You can use one single tool, and it will also improve your operational efficiency. So it will be one single place where you can have a centralized policy, where you can create jobs, where you can deploy your Chef cookbooks onto your infrastructure, or through which you can also use to scan your compliance posture of your infrastructure. And it can also help increase the productivity of your teams by helping them leverage our AI tooling to create automation scripts fast. So now let's see a quick demo. So here I have a quick demo where I'll demonstrate how Opsmith works. So what we're going to do now is I'll show you how you can go from a requirement to generating automation script and then deploying the generated automation script onto your infrastructure. Let's take an example. Let's just say I'm a system administrator and I'm responsible for migrating my server infrastructure from one operating system version to another. Let's say I'm on Ubuntu 22.04 and I'm trying to migrate my infrastructure to 24.04. And before I do the migration, I want to take a backup of my system configuration. So let's see how we can do this example. So first, I have to specify my automation requirements in natural language. So here I'm just going to say that I want to take backup of my system configuration. And for this example, I'm just going to say etc folder so that I can keep it simple. And then you can select a sandbox where you want to test the generated script. So we support both container and virtual machine sandboxes. Since I'm trying to migrate my infrastructure from 22.04 to 24.04, so I'll select one of the sandboxes in the list. And then you can also there's an option to specify whether you want to run it in auto approve mode or in a manual mode. In auto approve mode, the agent is going to perform all the actions without seeking any approval. Because we have a separate AI layer and execution layer, it is very safe to do this action. But if you want more control, you can also execute it in manual mode. So since I've submitted it in auto approve mode, it's going to do all the actions without seeking for any approval from me. So the agent is first going to look at the prompt. If the prompt is clear, it's going to go to the next step. Here, I deliberately gave a vague prompt. So the agent is asking me for some clarification. It's basically asking me, hey, you asked me to take backup. Where do you want me to store the backup? And what format do you want me to take the backup? And do you want me to encrypt? And it's asking me like a bunch of questions, right? So let's provide a little bit more context, and hopefully the agent will be able to proceed from there. So I'm going to say that you can store the backup on local directory, and I'm going to ask it to use tar utility to take the backup, and then I'll ask it to not to do any encryption so that I can keep the demo simple, and then I'll ask it to make it a one-time job. And now I can submit the response, and the agent will hopefully have enough context to proceed forward. So once the agent has enough context, which in this case it has, it moves to the next step, which is creating an implementation plan. So plan, we'll see in a second, is basically a step-by-step instruction on how to accomplish this task. So it's basically describing you how it is going to do this task. It's basically saying that it's going to put the backup in the where backups folder. It's going to create a backup file with the following format. It's going to use a tar utility to create a backup file, and so on and so forth. Once it has created the implementation plan, it's going to use the plan to generate an automation script. So in this case, it has created a bash script. Since we select a Linux machine, if it's a Windows, it will create a PowerShell script. So this is the bash script it generated. And then it creates the sandbox environment, and then it executes the script in the sandbox. This is the standard output. As you can see, the backup is successfully taken, and then it has placed the backup in the backups folder. And finally, the agent reviews the standard output and the generated script, and it determines if this is a successful or not. If it's not successful, it's going to retry, it's going to fix the errors, and it's going to retry. In this case, it was successful, so it managed to accomplish the task to take the backup. I just want to remind that the whole workflow has not touched your infrastructure yet. It has generated the script and executed the script on a sandbox, and the sandbox is created on Progress Cloud Infrastructure. So now you can review the code. If you want to make any enhancements or changes, you can ask the agent to make it, or you can copy or download the script. Or if you are happy with the script and you want to deploy the script onto your infrastructure, then you can run this as a job. To do that, you click on Run as Job, and then you provide a job name. For this job, I'm going to say it's a Ubuntu backup job. And then you can select the nodes where you want to run this job. So here you can either select a list of nodes in this list. So these are already pre-enrolled nodes. You can bring your own nodes. You can enroll your own nodes from your infrastructure. Or you can also create groups of nodes. Let's say you want to create group of production, staging, and so on and so forth. You can also create groups of nodes. For this example, I'm just going to pick a test node from the list of nodes that I already have enrolled. So here I've selected a test node. And now when I click next, I'll be able to configure a schedule. You'll be able to configure this job to run either immediately, or you can run it at a specific day and time, or you can also make it a reoccurring job. So for this example, I'm going to run it as an immediate job. So here it has created a job ID. I'll click on the job. You'll be able to track the status of the job here. So the job has not yet been picked up. It will be picked up in a few seconds, and then it will show up here. There you go. So the job has been picked up. It has started running, and in few seconds, hopefully it will complete. Okay, there you go. So now the job has successfully executed. So you can expand the job instance to see all the nodes that were part of this job execution. There was only one test node. So you can click on the test node to see the logs in detail. So when you click on the node, it will show you both error or standard output and error logs. In this case, it was successful, so you can see the logs in the standard output. So I just want to recap. So when we started out, we had a task at hand to take backup of the system configuration because we were migrating our server environment. And we managed to create the automation script by specifying our requirements in natural language. The agent, like created a plan script, and then it tested in the sandbox and provided a working script. And then we deployed that script as a job onto our infrastructure. So we managed to do the whole thing end to end within the same tool. So this is the end-to-end workflow of Opsmith, how you can go from your intent to generating automation scripts. So with that, I'll get back to my slides. Right. So now that you've seen the whole end-to-end workflow of Opsmith, and how you can use it to create automation scripts and then deploy those scripts onto your infrastructure, let's see what we have in store and what is coming next. So, like I've briefly touched upon this in the one of the previous slides. What we currently have for early access is ability to generate Bash and PowerShell scripts and to schedule those automation scripts as jobs for execution. And we are actively working on supporting cookbook upgrade workflows, and it will be available soon. After that, we'll be focusing on supporting generating new cookbooks and creating compliance profiles and converting other infra as code frameworks to Chef and so on and so forth. So these are the things that will be coming soon. But beyond that, we are also working on going beyond simply generating automation script. We want to also detect any issues and provide suggestions on how to fix those issues. So that's where we would be introducing the AI detection and detection layer. So let's just take an example. Let's say you have an infrastructure that is currently managed by Chef, and let's say one of the cookbooks have failed, or one of the jobs have failed, or let's say you have inspect compliance profiles and one of the inspect controls have failed. Then the detection layer will analyze the issue. It look at the signals and it will analyze the issue and it will identify the affected nodes. And then it's going to use the AI interface layer to determine what action needs to be taken to resolve it. The action could be a simple automation script, or it could be a cookbook profile. Sorry, it could be a cookbook, or it could be some other means to resolve that issue, or it could be a simple command. And then you would be able to, a human would be able to review the suggested change, and then they'll be able to take action on whether to deploy it as a job, or run that cookbook, or execute the command to fix the issue. So this is something that is going to come later. We want to expand Opsmith functionality from simply generating automation scripts to actually proactively looking at different signals, analyzing the issues, and recommending the actions. So that is mostly what I have for today. But we are open for early access. We are currently seeking. If you're interested, you can register for early access, and we'd be able to provide you access by end of this month. And we would be slowly rolling out to different people. So if you're interested, please do register for early access. One of my colleagues would be sharing a link in the chat. You'll be able to click on that and fill the form, and we will get back to you, and we can take it from there. And you can also experience this workflow inside Chef 360. We have an interactive demo. Again, one of my colleagues, they're going to share this link in the chat. You'll be able to experience the interactive demo using that link. So yeah, if you're interested, please register for early access and we'll get in touch with you, and then we'll work with you to provide access. And most of the people who register for early access would be able to get access by end of this month. So with that, we are ready to take questions. Let me see if we have any questions. Okay, so I see one question coming in. So the question that I see is, how is Opsmith different from using a traditional Chef? So to answer that, let me go back a couple of slides. Yeah, I think this is a good slide to answer that question. So how is Opsmith different from using traditional Chef? So Opsmith is going to complement traditional Chef workloads. It's not going to replace it. What I mean by that is, for example, if you are currently using Chef for configuration management through a Chef infra management component, then Opsmith can help you in generating cookbooks, writing new cookbooks, or if you have an existing cookbook and if you want to upgrade it to the latest version, so Opsmith can help you upgrade your cookbooks to the latest version. And if you want to adopt, Chef Inspect for compliance scanning, Opsmith can help you generate inspect profiles to scan your infrastructure. Or if you want to have, as you all know, Chef is pull-based, and you want to have another strategy or another mechanism at hand to run ad hoc jobs, then you'd be able to use Opsmith to generate ad hoc scripts, be it Bash, PowerShell, or any other automation scripts, and run those scripts as jobs, be it an on-demand job, ad hoc job, or even you can make it a reoccurring job that runs at regular intervals. So Opsmith is like you see on the slide, it's going to provide an AI interface layer that can help you generate automation script, be it simple Bash PowerShell script or in fast code. So it really complements existing Chef use cases.
Yeah, one thing I'll also point out initial there is, we have the capability for devices that, for whatever reason, cannot house any type of agent whatsoever. Opsmith can help you write the scripts for agentless operation as well, right? So in the future, if you have an agentless requirement for that type of management, then Opsmith will be able to help, a lot of the practitioners who write cookbooks right now may not be using agentless at all because they just don't have the practice to do it, and maybe don't even want to look at the resources to enable that. Well, the great thing about Opsmith is you don't have to, because Opsmith will look at the resources for you and put those agentless cookbooks or scripts or whatever you want together to manage those as well. So it really helps us extend the reach of the existing platform capability, in addition to automating the platform capability.
Yep. And while we are reviewing the questions that we are getting, we'll be launching a quick poll. So that poll is basically going to provide you, if you are interested to join the early access program, you'd be able to respond to that poll, and we'll be able to get in touch with you. So we will probably bring up that poll. One of my colleagues will probably enable the poll. Okay, yeah, it's up. Okay. Okay, let me take up the next question while our attendees respond to the poll. Let me see, what question do we have? So the next question I have is, what platforms is Opsmith supported on? So that's a good question. Opsmith is, like I said, Opsmith is the AI interface layer. The execution layer is actually supported by Chef. So Opsmith is supported in all the platforms where Chef is currently supported. So that's a really quick answer to that question. Okay, so the next question we have is, what is the when will this be available? Is the next question. So like I said, we will have the early access available by end of this month. So if you are interested, please register for early access. And we will just be having people, we'll be reaching out to interested users as and when we get, and then we will provide access to most of the interested folks by end of this month. The another question I have is, I'm just trying to read the question. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Like one of the users is asking if they will be able to run Opsmith on-prem. So Opsmith, the demo that you've seen is on a SaaS kind of environment. So we have plans to also make Opsmith available on-prem. The only part which the sandboxing is the only component which will be managed by the Progress, uh, uh, you know, uh, on the Progress cloud environment. So the rest of the things will be able to run on-prem. And so we are actually exploring providing access to on-prem as well, and it will be available soon. So the next question I have is, is there any integration into ServiceNow that would serve us well for change process and more, or any other integrations worth mentioning? That's a good question. So Opsmith uses Chef Courier for the execution, and Chef Courier can actually be extended to support different integrations. We don't have native integrations with ServiceNow, but you'd be able to easily trigger other integrations. Or let's say if a job fails and you want to create a ServiceNow ticket, you'd be able to add additional step which creates a ticket in ServiceNow. So you'd be able to extend it, but we'd love to know what use cases do you have in mind so that we can add some of the native integrations as well. And the other question that I see is around the pricing model. So asking one of the question is what kind of pricing model will this product use? So this will be launched with a consumption pricing model. As you could imagine, since this is going to use LLM under the hood, so we would be launching this with a consumption kind of a pricing model. And it comes with some usage included for all of the existing pricing, all of the existing tiers that customers are currently on. And if you go beyond that usage, you'd have to subscribe to one of the AI packs. So that's how the pricing model is going to look like. But we can talk more about pricing as we launch a generally available product. And the next question I see is, I'm just trying to review the questions. So this was a long question, so I was trying to read it. So let me read it out loud, and maybe I'll also ask Stephen to pitch in and share his perspective. So the question is: in the past, we had ClickOps. This is an excellent point. Yeah, I think in the past, ClickOps was pretty popular in this space, and there was a lot of a lot of people were talking about using ClickOps to manage operations. So yeah, let me continue the question. In the past, we had ClickOps where changes were made manually. Here with Opsmith, we are introducing AI Ops where AI assists making jobs. My question is, where is the infrastructure as code equivalent? How to manage the usage and change in job definitions over time? So I'll take a stab at answering this question, and maybe Stephen can also pitch in. I think this is an excellent observation. So ClickOps has been it had a lot of people were talking about ClickOps until maybe last couple of years, and now a lot of organizations are talking about AIOps. So Opsmith, yes, it can help you create jobs. It can help you generate scripts through which you'll be able to create jobs. But you can also use Opsmith to generate infra as code, like cookbooks, or inspect profiles for scanning your infrastructure. So Opsmith not just generates jobs, but it can also help you create cookbooks and other infra as code artifacts. So to your question, where is the infra as code equivalent? So Opsmith is not just for creating jobs, but it is also created to help assist you in your infra as code journey as well. So Stephen, do you want to add?
Yeah, I will sort of take it up a higher level. Is, as ClickOps became popular, you think about the reasons why the thing became popular, and it's really leaned toward the democratization of operational actions, right? And so what ClickOps allows you to do is it takes, as I was talking about intentions before, it takes a broader level of operators and brings them into the field where the intentions can be incorporated and the outcomes can be achieved by a really intuitive system of operations, right? So, the idea behind ClickOps is, if you can give the users an intuitive enough workflow or experience to achieve outcomes, then that would be a great thing because it opens up the number of administrators to a larger audience that can be, and like I said, democratize it down. The problem with ClickOps is you only can go so far with that type of operation because there's only so many iterations of actions that can be pre-thought of by any given product team, any given tool, any given product team. You can only sort of bring a UX or a UI out in front of a user that's intuitive in so many iterations. At some point, the complexity of the environment dictates that you have a submenu of a submenu of a submenu, and pretty soon it's not intuitive at all because either you throw up a million menus on one screen or you have a million submenus to account for every possible action you could take. So the ClickOps sort of falls down as complexity grows, although it's a great idea if you can figure out how to still, strike that balance of making it intuitive and, complex enough to meet the operational need. And so, one of the things about infrastructure as code is while it didn't necessarily help with the complexity part, it certainly creates a system of record, right? A defined policy, traceable, trackable, auditable system of record for the entire infrastructure. So different sort of problem set it exposes, but definitely something that's needed. And again, I was talking earlier in the call about business critical and mission critical operations. You need to be able to audit the things that you're doing. You need to be able to know that the things that you've called for are in the position you want them to be in, and you need to be able to track the levels of complexity as you add them on to make sure that boundaries aren't crossed across your environment, right? And so that's really where where infrastructure as code, policy as code, codifying your environment to the greatest extent possible comes in, and that's of course with the declarative state management capability that our main infra product presents. That's really where our traditional product has shined, is when you put it into that state, in that audible, traceable, movable state where every change is tracked and controlled. It's going into the actual state that you have documented in your CI/CD pipeline. How it looks in the pipeline is how it's going to be out in the field, and that's really the power of Chef. So you take that back a notch and you look at, okay, so how does AI and things like Opsmith really play into that? Well, with Opsmith, you can imagine that you can almost have the best of both worlds, where, as Initial just showed, you can just speak in natural language, which is, to my mind, significantly more powerful than trying to show a series of menus and figuring out how to order the menus and the wizards in such a way that it covers as much ground as possible. Well, infinite ground is just natural language, right? So the infinite possibilities in natural language typically can hold an infinite amount of possibilities. And what Opsmith allows you to do is take those spoken intentions and codify them. And that's, one of the powers. So you can take as we talk about, if you really step back a minute and you think about what Nishal was talking about, how Opsmith could write cookbooks for you, there's nothing stopping you from taking that operational output and putting it into your CI/CD pipeline. So you can really have the best of both worlds, where you can democratize the intent down to any individual that can just speak the intent, and then take the asset and then store those assets in policy as code, infrastructure as code, what have you, into our declarative state system, and again, have that trackable, traceable, auditable, and every change and step along the way is can be assured in the system of record, as well as when you see it in there and you see the end of the tree in your policies code setup. It's in our declarative state in the field, it's going to be set up just like it says in the tree. So that's a long answer to that question, but I hope it makes sense for what we're trying to do here with Opsmith.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. So there's one more question asking if Opsmith is included in Chef Automate license. There are two parts to break this down. So first, Opsmith will be available on Chef 360. So if you move from Chef Automate to Chef 360, then you'd be able to get access to Opsmith. Like I answered in one of the questions before, Opsmith comes with consumption kind of usage, and we will include some consumption credits by default for all the plans. So you'd be able to use Opsmith, but once you exhaust your free credits, then you'd have to subscribe to one of the AA plans. So the first step is for you to move to Chef 360, and then it comes with some usage bundled. And once you exhaust your usage, you have to subscribe to one of the consumption bundles. Okay. Yeah, so next question I see is, generally AI-generated scripts are not recommended for production environments. And how does Opsmith solve that? So this is a good question. And this is one of the reasons why we have created a separate AI layer versus the execution layer. So like I've shown in the demo, all the AI-generated scripts will be tested on sandbox environments and will never touch your infrastructure. So all the AI script generation, validation, and if there are any errors in the script, retry loops, everything happens on the AI layer. And only once the script is successful and you're happy, and if a human actually approves the script, then it will be deployed onto your infrastructure using the Chef's execution and governance layer. So there's a clear separation between how and where the AI scripts are generated and validated versus what is actually deployed onto your infrastructure using Chef's execution and governance layer. So this separation will make sure that AI agents don't go and make changes to your infrastructure directly. They don't even have access to your infrastructure unless a human approves and creates a job, or submits that cookbook to your infra server. So there's a clear separation between where the AI agents operate and where the actual execution happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's a human in the loop, and that's an important step that can be validated, with any policy or security that you need to put in place for your given environment, and any procedures that have been put into place for AI governance. I think a deeper answer to your question, though, is that you said AI scripts are not normally I forgot the phrase, but normally recommended for production environments. And that is true for AI interaction, how it's traditionally created. The real differentiator, and I think in the demo we probably don't hit on this hard enough, is that Opsmith uses a very specific iterative approach to creating these enterprise level scripts. So it's not just create script, do a cursory look, and hope for the best. As we've developed this, is if we're trying to save a little time there, but as we throw more and more complex natural language requirements at Opsmith, if we had longer to show it, we have iterations that will go 3, 4, 5, 10 times, and it has pass a multi-judge quality gate at every iteration, right? And so that's really the difference between you would get with the open up chat GPT and say, write me a script to back up my server. That's great. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just delete all your files, and that'll be not a great day for you. But with Opsmith, we put an extreme amount of effort into the actual testing. The biggest part of the code in Opsmith is actually the sandboxing, and we have unique technologies that allow that to happen with Test Kitchen. So we've basically leveraged our history of what we've done in the past and what we've established as positive patterns, and put those right over the top, and then iterated on those with our quality checks against the AI creation with Opsmith. So it continues to iterate until it's a high quality production level output before it even gets to the part where it asks you if it's okay, right? So we have the quality gate at the end, human in the loop, but before it even gets to the human, it passes extreme amount of quality gates and iterates continuously until it hits production level code. And again, we have some proprietary things that we use with that. Earlier late last year, we acquired a technology which is a RAG based technology, which actually allows us to do DSL, domain specific language, and domain specific content that goes into it. So it's not just asking the world in general to give us an LLM. We have the knowledge boxes and other things that go into it that really make sure that we get the high quality production level output that you wouldn't get just by again asking ChatGPT to build you a script.
Yep. I don't see any other questions coming in. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining the webinar. Hope you found it useful. Again, if you are interested to try early access, please register for early access using the link shared in the chat, and we will get back to you with next steps. So thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.